Voice Now on Facebook and at americasvoicenow.org. Here's Michael Evans.
You're listening to America's Voice Now. This is our second segment of the morning. And you know, I am so disturbed by the way in which this nation just seems to sit here. I mean, I'm going to give you this analogy. You're sitting at home with your eyes glued to the indoctrination box. You're being fed mentally. You remember the old phrase from computer days, garbage in, you get garbage out? In other words, if your code that you put into the computer is wrong, it won't have any meaning when it comes back out on the other end, on the screen. If your coding is flawed, you will not get a result that works. If you do a mathematical equation and there's something wrong somewhere in the steps that you take, in the mathematical equation that you take, the end result will not be correct. And here you are sitting in front of the indoctrination box, being told what to eat, being told what to think, being told what to buy, being told how to buy it, how to pay for it, which benefits not yourself, but those around you who are your betters. Meanwhile, your door is kicked wide open, brutally. And they come in, and they take your children and savage and rape them. And they grab your wife, and they do the same. And you don't even move. You sit there paralyzed in fear and keep your eyes on the indoctrination box because you just don't want to acknowledge what's going on around you. Then they begin to raid the house. And they take all your valuables. And the only item they don't bother to steal from you is the indoctrination box because that has got your rapt attention. And so you sit there while everything is taken from you, while your family is raped and abused emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. And out of fear, you sit paralyzed with the blinders on, taking no action. And all the while, the box is saying to you, remain calm, remain calm, remain calm, don't take any action. Do not be aggressive. Do not fight back. Do not remove the threat.
Mike, is it fear or is it dependency? Is it like a drug?
It's both. It's Americans who are sitting down and willing to sell out their birthright for peace and safety and security. But it's short-lived because after they're done with your family, at some point, they're going to get to you. That's the fear part. The dependency part is where you sit there idly and you're dependent on that indoctrination box in front of you.
I wonder how many people out there could actually do without TV for 30 days.
Well, you see, here's the problem. That box is, well, all right, let's clarify it. And I'm going to make fun and point the finger at one of the number one culprits. But there's others out there. They're all the same. They just changed the names. one of these satellite dish groups. Okay? And here's what you have to recognize. Where is their channel lineup? When I find this, I'm going to read you how absolutely ridiculous this is.
My wife and I were talking just last week about the fact that out of 500 and some channels on cable TV, we never watch more than about 5 or 6. And that would be the History channels, the Military Channel, and news. And that's it. The rest of it is all garbage.
I can't even find. They won't even tell you what their channels are because they don't want you to realize how stupid you are to hand them your money. They won't even show you what their channel lineup looks like. They tell you the 250 most popular channels. Really?
What does that mean?
Yeah.
That means nothing. I can't believe a bunch of the shopping channels and stuff like that. How popular is that?
You know, you got all of these people out there talking about Paula Deen as if she offers any kind of socially redeeming value to the planet. First of all, I don't care that Paula Deen used that word. There's very few people who haven't used that word or one similar to it in their lifetime. But you see, it's demonstrative of the stupidity of America that you're worried about Paula Deen's future on the cooking channel, as if that offers and adds some value to your life. I mean, the truth of the matter is that this is also nonsensical. These channels offer you nothing. I can't even find a freaking lineup.
Yeah, they offer a diversion from the fact that the country's going down the tubes and we're $17 billion in debt, and our politicians are doing little or nothing about it. It's indicative of the fact that we can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars, I don't know what the amount is, in order to paint portraits of government officials for God only knows what reason. But in the meantime, the Blue Angels can't do a flyby at the Air Force Academy graduation because we're too busy painting portraits of government officials that nobody will know or care about 20 years from now.
Here's the indoctrination channels: ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC, PBS. There's probably others. Univision for the completely unintegrated Hispanic. They got their own channel because they don't want to be integrated into the society which they fought tooth and nail and paid to get to.
Oh, they
Telemundo. Right? Then you got ABC Family, which is about as family-oriented, by the way, as Satan. Animal Planet, which is filled with nothing but the indoctrination from PETA and these conservation groups who are constantly talking about how humans are the epitomize the cruelty of the animal world. Let me tell you something. Do you think it's pleasant when a leopard chases down a zebra and eats it?
I used to have a bumper sticker that says, "I break for animals." And then underneath that it said, "I eat them and wear their skins."
Then they got the BBC, which is the British Broadcasting Communist Channel. Then you got BET. Now, BET, if you haven't seen that, is the most indoctrinating channel for black Americans. They're not African American, they're black. If you don't like that, tough. They're not African American because they've never stepped on the continent, and there are black people that are not on Africa. So therefore, they are black. And frankly, if they'd stop referring to their race as the precursor to whom and what they are, and defining themselves as such, they just call themselves Americans. You see, they're not black Americans. They're not African Americans. They're Americans.
What else has the box got to offer?
BET is so laden with misogynist, woman-hating, and cultural degradation and culturally degrading material that it's no wonder that the black population in America considers it an us versus them mentality, because they are the number one racist channel in the nation, and they are given a 100% pass.
But Mike, if we don't continue the illusion, okay, then people like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and all of those guys, they'll be out of business.
Those guys ought to be charged criminally. Then you got the Bio Channel, the truth behind the sitcom scandals. You want to talk about the most outrageous Hollywood urban legends. I mean, look, people, this is nothing more. It's not entertainment. It's distraction.
Maybe this should
Bravo, the Cartoon Channel.
How about the Federalist Papers channel? Is that on there?
No.
How about the Founding Fathers channel?
Nope, they don't have that.
No?
Nope. Then they got Disney, Disney XD, DIY, Salvage Dogs. So this basically, how that has to do with do-it-yourself is beyond my comprehension. Because basically all this is about a bunch of people who go out there. I don't even know. I've never watched the program, but I can already tell you what it is. Salvage Dogs. They go out and they buy crap or find junk that other people are throwing away and turn it into something of importance. We'll be back in 1 second.
I had this illness that really made me powerless over alcohol, and that insisted that I got drunk. And so I got drunk. It doesn't have anything to do with trying to control it. An alcoholic who picks up the first drink will pick up the second drink. I can't say to anyone, no, don't drink. But I can say that when you decide you don't want to drink, come to AA. The door to AA is always open. Alcoholics Anonymous. It works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or AA.org.
Hi, I'm Scott Corman, President of Community First. We want to be your bank. We believe in the strength of our communities, businesses, families, and future. We're not just locally owned, but community owned. And we operate today just as we started, by living up to our name, putting you and our communities first.
Living up to our name, community first, banking company.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
DIY, Salvage Dogs. You know what Salvage Dogs is? I've never seen it, but I can already tell you what it is. They go out there and they find somebody throwing something away and show you how you can make money on it. And that feeds right into this whole concept of how you should chase the dream of money, when money's really not what it's about. If you are one of those people who has that phrase in your head, he who dies with the most toys wins, do me a favor, get off my channel. Entertainment. This sums it up. The Entertainment's number one movie today is Sleeping with the Enemy. And while you're watching that indoctrination box, you are doing exactly that. You are sleeping with the enemy, who is using you, abusing you, and you don't even care. You are a whore. Well, what's the definition of a prostitute or a whore? Someone who does something for money or for some other benefit. Well, you are accepting payment for your acquiescence. You are accepting payment for your silence. What is that payment? Whatever it is that that is your personal failing. Everybody's got them. What is yours? Are you sleeping with the enemy? If you're accepting money for your farm to not grow something, or, well, it's a grant, I needed to drill a new well, then you have succumbed. You have prostituted yourself and your family for the benefit of some short-term gain. ESPN, Sports Network. What a disaster for America. Let's figure out how we can keep 50 to 100 million testosterone-laden men from recognizing the danger that they're in and marching here and taking it out on us, their oppressors. So let's keep them screaming and yelling at a bunch of guys in tight pants on a football field, or a bunch of 7.5-foot tall monsters who, act as if they are some kind of royalty because they make $10 or $20 million a year to play a game with an orange ball.
In a what is that, a non-profit organization? Isn't the NFL a non-profit organization?
Yep. So is Major League Baseball. So they all are. They're not-for-profit people. What does that tell you? They're not-for-profit organizations from a taxation standpoint. They don't pay taxes.
That's really sad too. For an industry that makes as many billions and billions of dollars as they do, to not pay taxes.
Then here's the Food Channel. This one, I just love this. The best thing I ever made, the best thing I ever ate. Bobby Flay's barbecue. I mean, who's Bobby Flay and why do I care what kind of barbecue he makes? I mean, really. Why do I care about the best thing you ever ate? And why do I care about the best thing you ever made? First of all, I don't even like what you like. You like arugula, I don't. You like liver, I can't stand it. What do I care about what he or she likes? Does that really improve or affect my life in any way, shape, or form? There's a channel here called Fuse. And here's the number one lineup on there. Lil Wayne's Takeover. Lil Wayne is this 5-foot, 3-inch black American, not African American, he's black. He's covered with tattoos. He's a cough syrup addict. He takes cough syrup. Yeah, I kid you not. And he's ended up in the hospital because he drinks it by the gallon.
Is this like a cartoon character or like a real person?
This is a real person. He's a rapper. His lyrics are full of nothing but raw, blatant descriptions of his sexual proclivities and then how he mistreats these women after he's done with them. He's the guy who stomped on the American flag not so long ago at a concert.
Oh, yeah, he'll be popular.
He is popular, and in large part, that's the kind of crap he exudes every day. You see, and tons and tons and tons of American youth are sitting there eating his excrement with a spoon.
Sad.
And saying, isn't this tasty?
And they can't read, but they can watch Lil Wayne on cable.
Well, he can't even spell his name right. It's L-I-L, Lil Wayne. Not Little Wayne. And he's verbiciding the language and teaching you that that's okay. That's okay. Aight? No, it's not aight. It's all right.
And it's not. And they vote.
Then you get to G4, paid programming. Paid programming, let's see. Let's watch a half-hour commercial. Convince us that we need some kind of frying pan.
Wow.
GSN, I don't even know what that is. The Giddy and Stupid Network. paid programming, password plus, and whammy.
Whammy. The heck is that?
I have no idea, and I'm not even going to click through to try to figure it out.
Why would people go onto a channel that says paid programming when you know all it is somebody trying to sell you something
Because
that you don't need?
Because they want to be mind numbed. You see, Lil Wayne does it with cough syrup. America does it with an idiot box.
How about a book? How about reading the Federalist? The Constitutional
Nobody
Channel?
knows how to read anymore. It's too complicated. The language is too hard.
Oh my gosh. This right here, this paper that I brought in today that has to do with James Madison. Boy, you want to talk about a group of guys that had possession of the language?
Yeah, but you see, the television is the reason why America doesn't read, because it doesn't require you to actually have any imagination, creativity, or thought process of your own. You are fed, and you don't even have to chew. It's taken steak, and it's made it into steak yogurt. You don't have to chew it. You just have to swallow. Then you got 9 variants of HBO, all showing you some Hollywood guy's idea of what the world ought to be like, which is completely outside the scope of reality, because it all ends perfectly in 2 hours, and we all know that that's not how things really happen.
Happily ever
Then you
after.
have the History Channel, which ordinarily ought to be fairly good, but instead it's Wild West tech. Let's see. For 5,000 years, humanity never moved faster than the speed of a horse. How good could the tech be? And why do you have to have 2 hours of that followed by another 2 hours of that? How much tech can the Wild West have that fills 2 hours?
But it's not 2 hours because then you got all the commercials and stuff in there, so it's like...
With the micro indoctrinations.
Right. Exactly.
Then the ID Channel. Homicide Hunter, Lieutenant Joe Kenda. Whitey Bulger, the making of a monster. And so that's for those people who absolutely go to the races, not to see the guys go around and around and around and around and around, but to see them suddenly stop against the wall. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. He's on fire. I'm so excited about him being on fire. Really? That's what you're watching it for? To see whether or not the guy actually gets out of the car? That is what you're watching it for. I mean, let's be honest. It's really not that entertaining to watch grown men do 200 miles an hour in endless circles for 4 or 5 hours. You're not watching it to see that. You're watching it to see the inevitability when Bobby runs over Joey's tire and they start spinning and spinning and spinning and flipping and rolling and flaming and blah, 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 blah. Because you're a voyeur.
Can I make a comment on that?
Go ahead.
This is something that you said last week that I was thinking on during the week this week. And we have gone from being a nation of people that do things to a nation of people that watch and talk about other people doing things. If you...
Brilliant minds talk of ideas. Mediocre minds talk of things. Trash minds talk of people. That's it. They gossip. And we've gone from a nation of men who think of great things and put forth and have dialogue about great ideas and compare notes instead of argue, to people who don't pay any attention to what the real truths are, but just argue someone else's position that they really don't even have a foundational grasp upon, so that they can act as if they are pseudo-intellectuals. I sound so brilliant when I quote someone who I've never heard of. And I quote someone's opinion, which I really don't have any investing in. It's sickening. It's perverse. It's idiotic. It's a waste of time. It is purely for your own egotistical value. And guess what? At the end of the day, you're wrong. Period. You know why you're wrong? You're wrong even when you're right. Because you don't know why you're right. You're wrong even when you're right. Because you don't understand how you got there.
News Radio, I'm Paul Stevens. Violence across Egypt, killing at least 30 people. Supporters of ousted President Mohamed Morsi clashing with Egypt's military.
The biggest protests were here in Cairo, where the head of Morsi's Muslim Brotherhood called for the military to stay out of politics. At least 3 demonstrators were shot as they approached the building where it's believed the deposed president is being held by the army.
Fox Radio's Kimberly Adams in Cairo. 29 students and 1 teacher killed by Islamist militants at a boarding school in northeast Nigeria. The prosecution resting in George Zimmerman's trial on second-degree murder charges in the death of Trayvon Martin. Defense attorney Mark O'Mara arguing for an immediate acquittal on a self-defense claim. The judge saying no.
The court finds that the state has presented sufficient evidence, both direct and circumstantial, to allow its charge to go to the jury. The motions for judgment of acquittal are denied.
Judge Deborah Nelson, the trial resuming on Monday morning. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Thanks to our friends over at Ozark Mountain Self-Reliance. You can reach Brian down there at 870-492-4030. It's located a half mile east of Walmart on 3225 Route 62, Mountain Home. My dear friend Mary over at Chantilly's Artisan Bakery, the best damn bakery in 100 miles. She's located at number 2 Evans Arcade, and you can call her at 255-2253. My friends over at Pizza Hut on Porter Wagoner Boulevard. They have an outstanding lunch opportunity. You can, from 11 till 2, and you can have salad and pizza, something tasty and something good for you. Our friends Bill Stone over at Stone Construction at 293-0116. If you're considering doing any kind of remodeling, new or custom construction and or light commercial, give Bill a call and let him bid on your next project. Our friends at the Battery Station at 303 Washington Avenue, 417-257-7799. They can be found at thebatterystation.com. Our friends over at West Plains Pawn and Gun, an outstanding opportunity with 400 firearms under glass. You can reach them at 417-256-3000, and they are located at westplainspawn.com. Located physically at Highway 160, about a mile past Walmart on the right-hand side. And finally, the sponsor of our phone lines, Wits End Classic Barbershop, located on the square in West Plains. Best haircut you can get for $10, and a nice young man as well. Please visit and support our sponsors.
Kim Commando, a.k.a. the Digital Goddess, keeps you plugged in with a daily feature. Kim Commando's Digital Minute. This segment keeps you informed with what's going on in the technology world, along with new tips and tricks to use at home to improve those computer skills. Catch Commando at 7:22 a.m. during Cooper & Company on the Ozark's Best News Talk. If the feature has you craving more, join Kim, the Digital Goddess, Saturdays from noon to 3 on the Ozark's Best News Talk, 107.1 The Point.
Whether sponsorships are available for your business or organization, call Josh at 255-2548 for more information, or email info@diamondmediaradio.com.
From the Point Weather Center, for the rest of the morning, clearing skies, low 62, plenty of sunshine as we head to the day, the high 86. It'll be partly cloudy tonight, low 64, mostly sunny tomorrow, the high 90. Monday's going to be mostly sunny day, high 90. I'm staff meteorologist Jim Rinaldi, and for more information, visit my1071thepoint.com.
Are you looking to save money? Did you know that in the last 20 years, interest rates have never been this low? That's why you should make the smart call today to West Plains Savings and Loan to start your home mortgage. Just imagine how much money you'll save. Key word is save, as in savings and loan. Your loan starts here and stays here. Never would it be sold to a secondary lender. Call today, 256-3042. That's 256-3042. West Plains Savings and Loan. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
So I'm going to continue with the vapidness of America, because I think it's instructive that you not just read this lineup for yourself, but that you understand what it, because most Americans read it and they're like, oh, I don't bother with that channel, I don't like that channel, don't like that channel, don't like that. But you never really understand what they're feeding you. IFC channel, endless the Three Stooges. I mean, I'm okay with a little blind. Once in a while, everybody just needs a little downtime. But when your entire life is made up of downtime, then, I know a lot of people don't think the Three Stooges are funny. But I did. I grew up with them as a kid. I was a boy, and Three Stooges was funny. Just the slapstick. But, and I got one or two of those, and then after that, I got to take a break from it. Abbott and Costello, that was funny. But you can't watch Abbott and Costello all day. I mean, not unless you've got like 3/4 of a bottle of NyQuil in you.
How sad is it if you know everything there is to know about the Kardashians, but you are unaware of the fact that the Senate just passed a piece of legislation and sent it to the House of Representatives, which would be it will
completely unbalance the entire nation. It'll unbalance us fiscally. It'll unbalance us from an electorate standpoint. It'll unbalance us in terms of a cultural standpoint. When you have 50 million people come into a nation of 300 million people, it's 1/6 of your population. And by the way, for the record, there's already 30 million of them here. So that means that almost 1/3 of America will be made up of people who aren't from here. I mean, if you can tell me that that's not going to change the relationship that we have with our nation, and for the record, these people didn't grow up here, so they don't have that seed of liberty, freedom, understanding of our founding fathers endemic in their system. They don't have it.
Yeah, but they got to give me free stuff.
Watch the door.
But they've got the I'm here so I can get free stuff mentality.
Well, that's what it's all about. Hey, Ed. So the problem is, and then,
but they can tell you what brand of toilet paper some Kardashian wiped their butt with last week, which is really sad, and it does get frustrating.
Somebody was smart enough the other day to epitomize that. They took a picture of a nuclear explosion going off over a major city, and then they put a picture of Kim Kardashian showing her fat derriere. I don't even find her attractive. I like slim-hipped women, right? That thing that they all expect is now like the rage, like you can park your beer on it, right? And so anyway, there's this nuclear explosion and a mushroom cloud blowing off over an American city, and there's a finger of a guy pointing to Fat Kim in the corner saying, "Oh, look, a Kardashian." In other words, he's ignoring the nuclear explosion, right?
Yeah.
And it says, "The low-information voter, clueless till the bitter end."
A lot of truth in that. A lot of truth.
If you even know the names of the Kardashian family, you and I really don't have much of all else to discuss.
Uh-oh, and it's also said that we're talking about them.
Well, I mean, because I'm using them not in a positive way. I'm using them as an example of the absurd.
Yeah.
I could say the same thing about NFL football.
Yeah.
I enjoy a football game on a Sunday afternoon, but I can tell you this. When I watch football, I don't cheer for a team. I want whoever's got the lowest score to come back up over the top. That's all I care about.
And I have to tell you,
I don't care about their jerseys. I don't care. I don't have any team loyalty. To me, it is an entertainment of saying, for the next 3 hours, I'm not going to think about the disaster of our country. That's why I watch it, because I need a break even from this once in a while.
But I will tell you, if you want to watch a really good football game, you watch the Canadian Football League. 3 downs. The players don't make millions of dollars. They're out there because they want to be out there. It's a much better game.
Yeah, but see, I don't even care about the rules, and I just don't care. I really don't.
You don't care that they're making billions of dollars and
no.
any taxes?
I'm talking about the rules of football and
right.
and this and the drama. You see, that's the problem. America is full of people that think drama has to be created so that they have something to do. They're so flippin' bored in their indulgent fantasy land that they create drama to have something to do. And instead of educating themselves, they create drama because they are, as the saying goes, Brilliant minds discuss discuss ideas and concepts. Mediocre minds discuss things, and poor minds gossip.
So that would account for why we don't have the constitutional channel.
Nobody wants to think. You see, that's what it takes to be something above a poor mind. You have to think. You have to actually spend some time contemplating what things mean and why and how they arrived there.
And you have to think in what manner.
Critical. But nobody wants to take the time to... It's like, as soon as they put their brain in gear, it's like the transmission seizes up. And they're not interested in actually contemplating anything of any value because it doesn't have drama.
But not to let anybody off the hook, but a lot of people, there are a substantial number of people that are that way because our public education system has created and trained them to be that way.
Yeah, but you see,
I'm not letting them off the hook.
You know what? The men who made this country great didn't make it great by sitting around contemplating the crack of Kim's rear end. They made it a great nation because they strove to accomplish something. The difference is you are being entertained instead of being entertaining. Everybody wants to live the high life. Everybody's got champagne taste, but on a beer budget.
They're entertaining your liberties away is what they're doing.
But they're not really focusing on that which is important and critical. What matters is not the till lies do us part on the Lifetime movie network or on MTV, Catfish, the TV show.
Catfish?
Listen, I have no idea what that is. It's got to be some scumbag named Catfish who's called himself Catfish. And by the way, they have it over and over and over again. And then they play the Bad News Bears. What happened to music television? That's what it was called. I remember when it came out in the 80s. It was called music television, and they did nothing but play back-to-back videos all the time of musical. Now, it's shows. There's no music associated with it. Unless it's the real-life antics of some, for all intent, I mean, who remembers this ass who used to walk around with a clock on his neck on a gigantic chain? I can't even think of his name. He's so pathetically sickening that his claim to fame is a giant pocket watch clock. I mean, the size of bigger than a dinner plate on a gold chain that's big enough to pull the Titanic around.
There's somebody out there who remembers it, who knows exactly who he is.
Don't even call, because I don't even want to remember. My point is this. You know, none of this has anything... NGC, National Geographic Channel. I mean, everybody remembers the National Geographic magazine, right? I mean, they impart knowledge, they give you wisdom, they give you insight into what's going on around the world and other cultures, and they had magnificent photographs. Here's what their lineup is. Paid programming, and the Alaska State Troopers.
On the National Geographic Channel?
Yup. Well, I don't know what the paid programming is. Probably a 30-minute infomercial about how you should donate money to the National Wildlife Preservation Fund, which, by the way, about 18 cents out of every dollar is actually going anywhere. The rest of it is eaten up in their administrative agency costs. Stop donating money. Stop donating money. Freeze the engine of scum.
Yeah. Be particular about where your money goes.
And then the Alaska State Troopers, which is a voyeuristic thing about how the Alaska State Troopers captured druggies and DUIs and drunks on the street. And, you know, it's like Jerry Springer with cops.
No, sorry, been there, done that.
That's what it is, people. It's Jerry Springer with police in uniform.
No.
Don't you get what you have what you have descended to? Then Dr. Phil on the OWN, OWN channel. Yeah, he owns your mind because he's sitting there He's a psychologist. Don't you think he's invading your mind?
Wait a minute. Is he a real doctor?
If he is a doctor, whoever gave him that piece of sheepskin should be slapped.
Hard?
Multiple times. Then homemade simple. Look, America, we'll be back in a minute. I don't know.
The Battery Station in West Plains is your headquarters for getting and being prepared. Natural disasters, civil unrest, personal and family protection, long-term sustenance, and most importantly, peace of mind. Berkey bottles and home-sized water purification systems, survival food, MREs, freeze-dried food, survival knives, lanterns, ammunition, military sleep system, and of course, batteries of all shapes and sizes. Take charge of your own survival and security. The Battery Station, 303 Washington in West Plains, 417-257-7799 or batterystation.com.
One of the secrets to success in heirloom gardening is keeping quality seed. Learn the basics of saving seeds July 11th at 6 p.m. at the Charles Ferguson Building in downtown Willow Springs. An expert from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds will present information and will be available to answer questions. Mark your calendar for July 11th, 6 p.m. at the Charles Ferguson Building in downtown Willow Springs.
Remember when? I'll remember the good old days. Those family events so important to everyone, captured on 8mm film or Super 8 or 16mm film. Remember slides and photos? Ah, yes. Remember when? But don't wait another day to protect those priceless memories. Let Video and Photography by Colasanti transfer those old videos to DVD or AVI files that you can then edit. Transfer VHS, Beta, High 8, and Mini DV tapes to DVD or AVI. Slides and photos, transfer records, wire recordings, cassettes, 8-track, and reel-to-reel audio tapes can be transferred to CD. And Video and Photography by Colasanti can repair most video and audio tapes. It's important to transfer your old tapes and film because the emulsion on film starts to break down after 25 years and tapes start to break down after 10. Do not wait another day. Protect your memories before they're gone. That's Video and Photography by Colasanti, 417-255-0257. On the square in West Plains, right next to the Red Apple Grill.
The QVC channel. Endless shopping for the stupid. You're buying a bunch of crap that has no real even physical value. Most of it's junk. Unlike the stuff that you can get at Mary's place, Chantilly's Artisan Bakery, where you can get real something of value for your money.
Oh, I'm telling you, this is like what people in heaven eat, the stuff she makes. Oh, it's so
Go see Mary at Chantilly's Artisan Bakery, number 2 Evans Arcade, because she's a sponsor of this program. And even if you didn't like today, and I'm not sure I even like today, because I'm so angry and frustrated and so depressed by the state of America that I can't even really do a good job for you guys. That's how I feel. I think at 8 o'clock I need to go over to Mary's and get me something sweet to eat because I'm feeling so sour and bitter right now. I mean, it's either going to be a pastry or scotch. I don't know what.
But you know, Mike, the point that you're bringing up is...
I'm leaning towards scotch at the moment, but that's because it's 10 minutes to 8 and Mary's not open.
you know? Mike, the point that you're making is people that are watching all this stuff and spend all this time in front of the box, get off your butt. Go out and join a volunteer fire department. Volunteer at the hospital. Do something to help your community out instead of being a lump in front of a box.
Yeah.
Do something.
Well, you know something? All right, let me cut through these commercials and remind me about the nursing home.
Yeah, okay.
Right, hang on a second. Make sure you see Mary over at Chantilly's Artisan Bakery because she is the person that makes sure that the show is on the air. Not solo, but she's a major supporter and participator in this program. And she's at number 2 Evans Arcade, right on the square in West Plains. You can also call her at 255-2253. If you've got a family event coming up, like the 4th of July that just went by, it's a perfect opportunity for you to go over there and buy 8 or 10 bonbons and treat the family to something cool in the morning that they would ordinarily not have. Because I can tell you one thing about Mary. You'll never be able to make something the way she does just because she's got that special je ne sais quoi of cooking. And she doesn't even have her own cooking channel.
And she probably never said that word either.
Je ne sais quoi?
No, that other word. The one that got the lady in trouble.
No. Battery station. I mean, put your money into something worthwhile having, right? Go down there and join our co-op. What's the co-op? You mean you've been listening to this program all this time and you haven't taken advantage of the co-op? The co-op is where you can go buy bulk food at wholesale prices, 50-pound bags of stuff, rice, beans, grain, corn, whatever. You can grind it yourself. You can look.
So you'll have some when the bottom falls out.
Right. And we make it available to you as a special service just to America's Voice Now listeners. Nobody else has this opportunity. I mean, nobody else knows about it unless you listen to this program. We don't advertise it in any other way. We only do it for you. So if you're not taking advantage of it, you're making me very mad at you because I went to a lot of trouble to put this package together for you. And Kevin went to a lot of trouble to make sure that you had the ability to order it and a place to pick it all up. We went to a lot of trouble to put this co-op together. And if you're not taking advantage of it, you're insulting me and you're wasting my time. I don't care if you don't like it. Not to mention that he's got a ton of other great products over there, including, by the way, a whole bunch of brand new 50 caliber ammo cans for $10 a piece. I see them everywhere for $15, $17, $18. You can get them from him for $10.
He's got ammo down there. I got 300 Savage ammo from him last week. I couldn't find it anywhere else.
Yeah, he does have a lot of ammo, by the way. So if you're one of those people who's whining about, there's no ammo, man. Stop belly aching and just go get it. He's at 303 Washington Avenue, right off the square, 257-7799 if you need instructions or directions. Ed is over there looking at me like, man, oh, Shevitz, you are in like your meltdown brain today.
Hey, who else supports the program, man?
And see, my staph infection is trying to keep me on, like, topic here.
We're trying.
West Plan, no. I get it, folks. Today is like a Saturday. You know what I think it is? It's the end of the weekend or the end of the weekend. It's been a very grueling week, I have to admit, and I am kind of fried. West Plains Pawn, the folks on Highway 160, just past Walmart. Kenny down there has 400 at any given moment. He's got at least 400 weapons there. And he's got optics, he's got accessories, he's got ammunition. He's also a pawn shop, and I have to tell you, I've been to a lot of pawn shops in my life, and his is the cleanest. It's almost like shopping in a little store.
Oh, he's got all sorts of tools,
he's got
jewelry,
tools, computers, jewelry.
Man.
Yeah.
He's got everything.
Yeah. And it's all clean and it's neat. You know, you don't walk in there and you feel like, you're afraid to pick something up because you might get a germ on it.
Yeah, or you're afraid to pull something off the shelf because you're afraid the whole shelf will fall down.
He actually, I don't know, I guess he cleans that stuff up first. A lot of guys take it, and some guy brings in a drill and it's covered with blood from when he cut his hand and they just throw it on the shelf, right? I guess Kenny gets out there with alcohol swabs or something, cleans it all up. Nice pawn shop anyway. Yeah. Go down there and see West Plains Pawn, 256-3000.
Say hi to his girl. Say hi to his girlfriend when you're there too.
Say hi to his girl. Who's that?
His Weimaraner. He's got a Weimaraner that's with him all the time. She's a sweetie.
See, you always want to bring dogs in everything.
Oh,
I look at dogs as dinner in a pinch.
Hey.
I just had like 80 people say, that's it, I'm never listening to him again.
Well,
He's so mean to dogs. Oh, my goodness. Who could be mean to dogs and still be a human being? Ah.
That's right. Remember, cats, the other white meat. Who else supports us?
Our friends at Ozark Mountain Self-Reliance, who just put up a brand new website at ozarksurvivalgear.com. Notice the key operative word, survival. Ozark Survival Gear, like as in stuff that you need to make it through an uncertain period of time.
They might even have a book on cat recipes or something, you know?
They might. I don't think so, but they might. They could. Anybody who wrote the cat recipe book would definitely be in trouble with PETA. 870-492-4030. And they have a brand new website, as I mentioned, ozarksurvivalgear.com. There's directions to their location there. There's maps. There's phone numbers. There's all kinds of stuff you can buy. It's an actual online e-commerce shopping opportunity.
Do they have a Facebook page too?
They do, and they have 5. I think it's 5 different brands of long-term, like freeze-dried type foods. They got Noah's Pantry and Mountain House and Wise and a whole bunch of other stuff. By the way, they're not open on Saturdays. They are open on Sunday. It's kind of interesting. They're not open Saturday. They're open Sunday. So, but you can go shop online 24/7, 365.
Or you can stop by after church.
You can go by after church on a Sunday. Pizza Hut on Porter Wagoner. Tuesday night is their family night, by the way. Kids eat free if they're under 12. Don't lie about your child's age. That's a bad example. Just pay the $6 or whatever it is.
And don't pull your chair up to the salad bar. That's inappropriate.
That's inappropriate. Or the pizza bar. They do have salad and they have pizza. And then they have like some pasta and stuff like that. So, you know, if you're one of those people that just eats pizza, then you're good. And if you eat salad, you're good. And if you eat pizza and salad, you're better. Ask for Bree when you get there. She's one of the servers there. And she'll take good care of you. Tell her you heard about that restaurant on America's Voice Now. And she'll say, that's my dad. Stone Construction. Bill Stone, he's lived here all his life. He's been in the construction business for some 40 years. At 2930116, you can get him and have him come over to your place and give you a quote on a new deck, new concrete floor, new barn you want to build. Maybe you need some fencing work. Maybe you need you need to frame out a new building, or maybe you're building a whole house. He actually has a program, by the way, where if you want to build a house, he'll act as kind of like a GC, general contractor's advisor. So in other words, he comes in and he says, I'll help you know what you should do, when, where, and how, and I'll help you find the right supplier to pour your concrete foundation, put in the plumbing, do the electrical, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's money well spent. I'll tell you, my wife and I built the house, and I was the general contractor on it. I will never do that again.
Right, but with the way Bill Stone does it, he comes in and he acts as your advisor and says, you know, you're going to do this, but you forgot about this important step.
Well, that's
the one that cost you $7,000.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Anyway, 2930116. Give Bill a call, because I think you'll be happy with his work, and I think you'll be happy with his pricing, and he's a patriotic American who loves this country, and he advertises here because he wants to support this program. I'm humbled by that. Wits End, Jason over at Wits End, our classic barbershop hotline, he also supports and sponsors our phone lines. He cuts hair for $10. He cuts mine. So, and by the way, he does straight razor shaves. Where do you get those anymore?
Man.
Does he still hot lather, straight razor shaves.
Does he still get that thing that turns you upside down?
Yes. Greg McLaughlin over at Black Ops School of Combat has concealed carry classes. You can reach him at 255-1612, or you can get a hold of him at blackopsschoolofcombat.com, or again, 255-1612. And then make sure that you visit Spring Creek Beef. They're friends of ours. We just built a website for them. This is natural, 100% grass-fed beef. You won't be able to beat it, and I promise you that you'll be very impressed with the quality of it. And by the way, she ships all over the country. So if you watch this show and you live in Seattle or you live in Texas or someplace, she'll still ship to you. We'll be right back.
From West Plains, Missouri, it's KBMV Birch Tree, the Ozarks' best news talk.